Yo, 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 yo. What the motherfucking dealio? Yeah, I had to bring it back for y'all square ass niggas. Y'all, these 2000s babies would never know. Yeah, Busta Rhymes came up with that what the dealio shit. You're alright, but man, this is episode 14. Is LeBron James 8 championship in a row appearances overrated? Is LeBron's 8 straight appearances in the NBA Finals overrated? We're about to examine this. This isn't no shade. This is no hating shit. For all y'all motherfuckers that wants to call me a hater and all that, you sensitive as fuck. But I'll do the analysis and then I'll determine whether it's overrated or not. Because I have the data. I know the rosters. I know who was playing back then. I watched it. I analyzed it. And I came up with some shit. So, if you were one of them sensitive motherfuckers that's obsessed and all that shit, don't watch this fucking video. I got the data to back this shit up. And I will pull up the roster as well. So, let me just pull up my basketball reference so that I can have the stats and the, all that other shit. So let me get to my basketballreference.com so I can just, just make sure that I'm not a number off or, just for accuracy mostly. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and talk about something else first while I get my shit ready. So let me put on some music real quick. If you hear my phone going off, it's my job or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So don't be alarmed, people. But Nick Wright, a.k.a. Dick in Your Mouth Right, a.k.a. Gonzo, a.k.a. Pinocchio, homosexual, bronze sexual, that is, the leader of the LeBron cult, has been absent off of Fox Sports 2 days in a row. Ever since that Kawhi Leonard won the first Kobe Bryant award. Dude been quiet as a rat pissing on carpet. This fucking faggot ass nigga, punk ass Pinocchio. You have potential. You have potential. Face ass, bitch made nigga has been ducking the Kawhi smoke for 2 days in a row because he's scared to give Kawhi some credit because he hates on him on a consistent basis and makes up constant lies about him and just trashes him every chance he get, no matter how good he plays. He'll just make up an excuse to just say, oh, Kawhi has missed games this season. Nick Wright. Dick in Your Mouth Right. LeBron's vacuum cleaner. Kawhi Leonard has a degenerative knee issue that has been diagnosed already, and they are managing the injury to possibly extend his career longer than it should be. If you're not aware of this, there's articles to pull up to confirm this knee condition. And despite that, Floyd Mayweather says that he has been a better athlete last decade than LeBron has because LeBron was named Athlete of the Decade. And to be completely honest with you, Floyd has a case. Floyd Mayweather has a case, y'all. Here's why. And, I watched an excerpt of Steven Jackson on, what's that show called? Fuck. Speak for Yourself, or Coon for Yourself, as I like to call it, with buck dancing ass Marcellus Wiley, buck dancing ass Jason Whitcock, bitch cock. old fat pussy ass nigga, coon, shoe shoveling ass nigga. You know what I mean? And Steven Jackson said that LeBron, won 3 titles and this, that, and the third. He just basically gave up LeBron's side of things. And he said that LeBron was better because LeBron couldn't pick his opponents. Well, Steven, I mean, basketball and boxing are 2 different things. And for one, Floyd can pick his competition all he wants because he's his own boss. I mean, I'm not even going to speak from a money perspective. We know Floyd Mayweather has made more money than every athlete. But Floyd Mayweather has been successful, and I think that Floyd has better preparation. He's in better shape. No disrespect to LeBron, because LeBron is in great shape for him to be at this stage of his career. But I just think that Floyd's preparation surpasses LeBron's preparation. And not to mention that Floyd has had an undefeated record throughout the whole decade and some, and has been undefeated since 1996. That's another thing that you cannot take away from Floyd Mayweather. LeBron has lost 6 titles, 3 of them in which I think that he should have won, which we will get into on a future show. But one of them decades, 2000s, 2010s, I believe that Floyd should have won athlete of the decade. Because, I mean, yeah, you can rave about his competition, but you can also say something about LeBron's competition, which is what this episode is all about. Just his competition in the Eastern Conference, not the West, because we know the Western Conference is the more superior conference and has been for a couple of decades. So, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Let's talk about is LeBron's 8 straight championship appearances overrated? Now, let's start at the year 2011. Shall we? Let's start there. Let's get into it, y'all. All right. In the first round, LeBron and the Miami Heat. Mind you, this team was stacked like fucking Pringles. I mean, you had Mario Chalmers. You had Joel Anthony. You had fucking Mike Miller. You had Eric Dampier. I mean, this team was, and then you had, of course, 3 top 10 young, athletic, and great players in their prime in LeBron, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh. Anytime you have that type of roster on your squad and shit like that, it's fucking crazy. Now, throughout the season, Elton Brand was their leading scorer. And you had multiple players who missed the season with injuries. The only 2 players that were really 3 players that were healthy was Spencer Hawes, Elton Brand, and Drew Holiday. Wasn't Holiday a rookie? What stage of his career was he at? Oh, he had already, this is Drew Holiday's second year. Okay. I mean, Drew Holiday, man, is one of the more underrated players in the game. But, the roster consisted of Andre Iguodala, Elton Brand, Drew Holiday, and that was it. I mean, Evan Turner was young. They had Lou Will. Thaddeus Young hadn't gotten to his game. Andres Nocioni was on his way out the league. Jody Meeks Interesting. Jason Capono was a sharpshooter, but come on, there was not one player on this team better than LeBron, D. Wade, or Chris Bosh. Hell, is there a player on this team that was better than Chalmers? I mean, the rest of it, you know what I'm saying? Elton Brand's not better than Mario Chalmers at this time. I mean, Iguodala was good. Don't get me wrong. He's better than every role player Miami had. I give you that. But 41 and 41. All right, let's go to the second round of the playoffs where things get really interesting. Now, the next round they played in 2011, a 56 and 26 Celtics team. Right? They had a 36-year-old Ray Allen, a 35-year-old Kevin Garnett, a 34-year-old Paul Pierce, a 39-year-old Shaq. And how old was Jermaine O'Neal? Jermaine O'Neal was 32, okay. But well past his prime. And I forgot. The Sixers lost in 5, and so did those 56 and 26 Celtics. All right, the team that they played in the Eastern Conference Finals was the Chicago Bulls. MVP Derrick Rose. You had MVP Derrick Rose, which is solid, but if Luol Deng's your second best player and the Miami Heat's second best player is Dwayne Wade, something is wrong here. And then they ended up losing in 5. There was no other offensive player that had the prowess of Chalmers, Mike Miller, and fucking, there's nobody else that could really hurt you offensively. I mean, Carlos Boozer wasn't the Utah Jazz Carlos Boozer at that time. I mean, you had Kurt Thomas, Ronnie Brewer, Taj Gibson, Kyle Korver, Joakim Noah, who offensively was retarded. Luol did average 17 a game, which is solid, and Boozer did average 18 a game. But come on, dude. This was lopsided as fuck. Let's move on to 2012. I'm going to try to get this done in 40 minutes. Bear with me. This is the lockout season. All right, in the first round, they played the Miami Heat. The big three, right? Played against, they played the 36 and 30 Knicks. Lynn Sanity and Prime Melo. But in that series, though, before the series started, Jeremy Lin got hurt. Baron Davis got hurt during the series. Iman Shumpert got hurt in game 1 and tore his ACL. Amari Stoudemire punched out a fucking fire extinguisher and broke the glass and fucked his hand up. And he was ineffective once he returned after game 3. Jared Jeffries, who was a defensive specialist, was also injured. And those Knicks ended up losing in 5 to the Miami Heat. Next team. All right, let's see who was on that roster. Come on, man. Ronaldo Barkman. Tyson Chandler was okay. He was good. Landry Fields. Jeremy Lin. Are they better than Steve Novak was nice. JR was nice. All right. Let's look at the 42 and 24 Pacers. All right. All you had on that team was a prime Danny Granger, a young Paul George, who was only averaging 12 points per game. David West, who was solid role player. Roy Hibbert, who was overrated. Nothing else notable. And they pushed the Heat 6 games. I mean, Danny Granger and Paul George was going at LeBron and D-Wade that series. And then they played the 39-27 Celtics. These are the Celtics that they bragged, that LeBron stans fucking bragged about beating. They were acting like they were the Celtics 2-3 years ago or 4 years prior. No. You had a 37-year-old Ray Allen, a 36-year-old Kevin Garnett, and a 35-year-old Paul Pierce. All the Celtics really had was a prime Rajon Rondo, and that team pushed them 7 games. This is the series where LeBron dangled the ball in KG's face and laughed. I mean, outside, and then Shaq again. Shaq was gone for the season as well. He had gotten injured. Although Big Baby was better. I think they added, didn't they add? No, yeah, Nate Robinson was on this team. Okay. Delonte West was there. I mean, they had a solid team, don't get me wrong, but come on, man. This team, beating this team ain't really nothing to brag on. And they lost in 7. I mean, they only lost in 7, right? Let's move on to 2013, man. In the first round, they faced a 38-44 Milwaukee Bucks team who had a prime Brandon Jennings, Monte Ellis, who was just outside his prime, and no one else. Who else can... I mean, Tobias Harris was good, but he was in his second year. I don't even think he was starting. They had JJ Redick, though. Wow. Didn't know that. The more you know. Samuel Dallenberg. Larry Sanders was on this team. Wow. Drew Gooden, LeBron's former teammate. John Henson. A lot of these guys were offensively challenged. Monte Ellis was the leading scorer, averaging 19 a game, and Brandon Jennings was just entering his prime. He only averaged 18 a game. Compared to the Miami Heat, where you had 3 guys who could put up 20 with no problem. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, then they played in the second round in 2013, a 45-37 Bulls team. This team had an injured Derrick Rose, ladies and gentlemen. Derrick Rose got injured in game 1 of the playoffs this season. But yeah, Dang was the leading scorer that season at only 17 points per game, and they lost in 5. They should have swept them. I mean, get the fuck out of here, dude. Derrick Rose only played 39 games that season. Dang led the team in playoff scoring at 17 a game, but in the regular season, Dang led with 15 a game in Derrick Rose's absence. And then the next round, they played a 56-26 Pacers team who took advantage of a weak Eastern Conference. Just like the Miami Heat did. But in all reality, they were not that fucking good. The Pacers, I mean. Not the Heat. The Heat were fantastic. But also, you had Paul George entering the prime of his career. You had an injured Danny Granger. You had no Granger, who would have been better. Paul George ended up averaging 22 a game in that series, but they ended up losing in 7 games to the Miami Heat. Can you believe that they pushed them 7 games? The Miami Heat, the big 3, Paul George with no other superstars, pushed these niggas 7 games. with 3 superstars still in their prime. That's insane. George Hill, Lance Stevenson, Paul George, David West, Roy Hibbert pushed Chalmers, Wade, Bosch. I believe this is the year they got Ray Allen too. Wow. Even though Ray Allen was 38 years old, but still, Ray Allen off the bench is dangerous. 2014, let's move on. In the first round, they played the fucking 43-39 Charlotte Bobcats, whose leading scorer was Al Jefferson. Where the fuck is Al Jefferson now? Somebody call that man. See if he's alive. They had, okay, this is who they had, right? Al and Kemba averaged 18 points per game, but come the fuck on. Do you think that the Bobcats had a shot at winning a game against LeBron and D Wade and Chris Bosh? I don't think so. They got swept in the first round. Come on, man. Gerald Henderson, Josh McRoberts, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Ramon Sessions, Gary Neal, Chris Douglas Roberts, Anthony Tolliver, Ben Gordon. Wow. These niggas were supposed to beat Miami or win 2 games against them. Fuck out of here, nigga. Stop it. All right. The second round, they played the 44-38 Brooklyn Nets. So you had a washed up D Will. You had the last of ISO Joe's prime. You had 38-year-old KG, 37-year-old Paul Pierce, who was more known for killing the Raptors than anything at that time. And they lost in 5. Was Lopez there for the playoffs? Brook Lopez was hurt. He didn't even play in the playoffs. They had Andre Blatch at center. So not only were you missing your youngest player, and then come on, man, the role players outside of that. Sean Livingston was good. But Allen Anderson, Andre Blatch, Mirza Teletovic, Mason Plumlee, Marcus Thornton, old-ass 36-year-old Jason Terry. I forgot about him. They were supposed to win this series against Miami, who were still young and in their prime. And then last but not least, the Pacers went 56 and 26 again. You had a prime Paul George. You had a prime Lance Stevenson. But who else? Hibbert got a little bit better. But come on, man. That roster really wasn't shit. They were ass. I can pull that up right now. And then Danny Granger, yet again, was hurt. I mean, it was the same squad that they played before, except they added Evan Turner. And then they had Andrew Bynum, who only played 2 fucking games. Get the fuck out of here. Let's move on to 2015, y'all. This is disgusting. This competition is fucking weak, dog. I don't care. This might be a long show, because I'm not doing a part 2 to this shit. This is exposing right here. All right, 2015, you had in the first round, the Cleveland Cavaliers, as LeBron went back home, they played a 40-42 Celtics team with a prime Isaiah Thomas. But who else? Look at the roster. You had Jeff Green, who only played 33 games. You had Rajon Rondo, who got traded to the Mavericks. You had Avery Bradley, Evan Turner, Jarrett Sullinger. Isaiah Thomas averaged 19 a game, which was not bad. But there was nobody else that was an offensive threat. The Heat had all the offensive the Cavaliers had all the offensive threats. You had Kyrie, you had J.R. Smith, I think they had Mike Miller too in that year. Also, you had James Jones. Then the next season, you had the 50 and 32 Bulls with a Derrick Rose who was a shell of himself, but still kind of effective. You had Jimmy Butler entering his defensive prime, a 50 and 32 Bulls team. You had a 35-year-old Pau Gasol. Oh yeah, I forgot those 40 and 42 Celtics got swept. And then you had a 35-year-old Gasol on the Bulls, and they lost in 6. Let's find out who was on that roster of any importance besides what I named. Derrick Rose had a great series in that year, man. That was incredible watching him. Pau Gasol actually led the team in scoring? Get the fuck out of here. Y'all bullshit. Okay, Jimmy Butler led the team in scoring. Whoa. The more you know. Wow. So this is basically Jimmy Butler entering his prime as well as his defensive prime. Powell averaged 18 and a half. Derrick Rose 17 and a half. Okay. That was a little bit of competition. So you mean to tell me 2011 through 2014 there was no real competition but old niggas. Old washed up niggas at that. Anyway, the next round in the conference finals, they played the Hawks, who had 4 all-stars, right? You had Paul Millsap, who was playing injured. Kyle Korver was out for the series after game 2. Cephalosha was out for the season because the police broke his leg, right? I mean, Paul Millsap was the leading scorer. He only averaged 17 points per game. And then you had, of course, Al Horford, Dennis Schroeder off the bench. Thabo was gone for the season. Kent Bazemore. These motherfuckers supposed to beat the Cavs with Kyrie and LeBron. All right, nigga, whatever. Let's move on to 2016, man. Do you know, at the time, the 44 and 38 Pistons was the best record that LeBron James has ever played anyone in the first round. 44 and 38 throughout his whole career in the playoffs up to this point. The 44 and 38 Pistons were the best team he ever played. The Pistons rosters had no stars, no superstars at all. And they had a lucky win streak to finish off the season. And then the series had bad officiating throughout the whole thing. There were 3 games that the Pistons could have won in this series. But they ended up getting swept, and Reggie Jackson was the leading scorer on the Pistons, averaging 19 a game, and they got swept. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Although Tobias Harris and Marcus Morris was nice, Andre Drummond was, the other was Illmatic. That's one hot year in every 10-year average, and that's so you get the gist. The second round, they played a 48 and 34 Hawks team. It's like, come on, dude. Are you fucking serious? The same team as last year, right? And they ended up sweeping them because nobody could check Kyrie or LeBron. I mean, yeah, you had Horford and Teague, and pretty much the same team as last year. God damn it. It was pretty much the same fucking team, except Tiago Splitter just got added, and Tim Hardaway Jr., who got hurt. Then in the conference finals, they played a scary Raptors team. Although Kyle Lowry had a great series, and then you had a prime DeRozan, who else was there to take the pressure off of those dudes? Be for real. Get the fuck out of here with the fuck shit, man. Y'all killing me with this shit. All right. Outside of Larry DeRozan, look at this shit. Anthony Bennett, Bismack Biyombo, Bruno Caboclo, DeMario Carroll, Corey Joseph, James Johnson, Norman Powell, Patrick Patterson. Really? Jonas was all right. DeLon Wright was cool, but he was a rookie. Stop playing. Let's move on to 2017 as LeBron was still on the Cavs. They had the 42-40 Pacers with a prime Paul George, but nobody else. Everyone else was either too young or too inexperienced. And they ended up getting swept. And they only put up a fight in one game. I mean, look at this fucking roster. It was horrible. Was LaVoy Allen supposed to stop LeBron and Kyrie? And wasn't this the team that, yeah, this was the loaded team right here. It had JR and Thompson, and yeah, this was the squad right here. They had Monte Ellis, who was past his prime. Al Jefferson, who was playing with an injured foot. You had Glenn Robinson III. You had Lance, who was still balling. Jeff Teague, Thaddeus Young. This team was all right. But I know more teams John Blaze than that. 51 and all right, the next team he played was the 51-31 Raptors, who DeRozan proudly said that he was scared of LeBron. And I believe they lost that series in 5 games. No, they got swept. They got their ass beat. I remember this. Ain't that some shit? Again, like, come on, dog. You added Serge Ibaka, which is a good pickup. You draft Jakob Poeltl. Terrence Ross was an upgrade. Pascal Siakam was a rookie. Jonas, PJ Tucker was okay. Fred VanVleet was a rookie. So for real, dog, they ain't have no experience. And DeRozan and Lowry had the worst series. And they got swept by Cleveland. And they were a 1 seed. Weren't they? No, oh, they were 3rd in the East. My bad. And then the 53-29 Celtics, who were the worst 1 seed since the Pistons in 07. And then Isaiah Thomas, their best player, got injured after game 2 with a hip injury that damn near has cost him his career. They had Al Horford. But for real, who else on that team was going to make an impact? They ended up losing in 5. Jay Crowder is not a 20-point per game scorer. Get the fuck out of here. Let's move on to 2018, which was the last year of LeBron's 8 straight finals, which were unlimited cakewalks. All right. All right. So, in the first round, LeBron played the best team he's ever played in the first round. The 48-34 Pacers. With a prime Oladipo and a bunch of role players. There was no second star that could, and then you gotta, you know, I guess you could say they were evenly matched. I'm not gonna shit on the Pacers that much because LeBron James was still there. LeBron had a gang of role players also because they had just traded Kyrie Irving. But they ended up losing in 7, so I guess that was a very competitive series. So they lost the Pacers lost in 7. Then they played the number 1 seed 59-23 Raptors. LeBronto Part 2, the last of DeRozan's prime. Kyle Lowry was reduced to a role player. But who else on that team? It's just a better version of the previous year where they just got one more year of experience. This was the worst 1 seed since Dallas in 08. Then they played the 55-27 Celtics, who had no Kyrie Irving, no Gordon Hayward, who were injured, no Daniel Theis. You had a young Jaylen Brown and a young Jason Tatum, a young Rozier, who went 7 with the Milwaukee Bucks, who were an 8 seed. Al Horford was their best player. You will never win a championship if Al Horford is your best player. They took them 7 games. This was the most adversity LeBron James has ever faced in the Eastern Conference, by the way. This team went 12-10 in the playoffs. Outside of 2018, when did LeBron really face adversity? And then can I ask y'all a question in TV land, right? Who was the best team that LeBron faced? An old washed up Boston Celtics team, right? Let's go down the line and see if their Eastern Conference final opponent would have succeeded in the finals. Let's do that before I get the fuck out of here, right? 2011. Did the Chicago Bulls have a chance against the Mavericks? Yeah, I think so. I think they could have beaten the Mavericks in a 7-game series. 2012, the 39-27 Celtics. Would they have had a chance against the OKC Thunder? No. I would have took the Thunder in 6. 2013, the 56-26 Pacers. San Antonio would have swept them. Easy money. 2014 Pacers. San Antonio would have swept them again with a better version of Kawhi Leonard. So San Antonio would have had 6 titles. The 2015 Hawks would have got swept in the finals by Golden State. Would have got swept. The 2016 Raptors would have got swept by Golden State. Swept. 2017 Celtics would have got swept by the Warriors. 2018, this Celtics team would have lost. No, they would have got swept by the Golden State Warriors. We got to remember, KD was there. So, I tallied up the records of all these guys. And the teams that LeBron faced in the first round have an average of 52%. Now, since LeBron faced easy first round opponents, would that imply that his teams were good and that he never needed the help that the media said he needed? And did the West expose LeBron's weak Eastern Conference competition? Because you got to remember, during this 8 championship run, he went 3-5. And then did the West expose LeBron's weak competition, right? 2019, he goes to the Lakers, and they don't even make the playoffs. I don't want to hear the excuse of players were hurt, because when LeBron James returned to the lineup, the team lost 14 out of 19 games. I would pull out the stats, but I don't want this show to be any more longer. Now, 2019 and 2020 will be LeBron's best playoff. Well, 2020 will be LeBron's best playoff competition. Let's see what he does with that. But other than that, as I go back to the main question, was his 8 straight finals appearances overrated? Fuck yeah. Because The competition didn't get tight until 2018 when LeBron had a team of role players that could match up with the East's, weaker teams. But other than that, I'm out of here. This is episode 13. And oh yeah, please subscribe to my Patreon, by the way. Please subscribe to my Patreon at patreon.com/Kingknown07. And I'm about to be out of here. 100. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This is episode 14. I have to correct myself. I apologize for the error.